The consumer tech space, and especially the smartphone sector in India, is highly competitive. In fact, it changed and disrupted completely with the entry of Chinese brands about 5 to 6 years ago. Many brands thrived, some merely survived, but some had to shut shop because they simply could not fight the competition. One such brand was Micromax, that completely disappeared from the smartphone market despite seeing massive momentum around 2014-2015 simply because they could not survive the competition. However, things changed completely for the company in 2020. Riding on the back of the ongoing Vocal for Local campaign and, of course, the rise in anti-China sentiment, Micromax decided to make a comeback in the smartphone space with a new brand called IN. Right now, we are at their 25-acre facility in Bhiwadi, Rajasthan, where they are manufacturing smartphones, televisions, and even air conditioners. We're about to catch up with the co-founder of the brand, Rahul Sharma. Take a look. Thank you so much for a quick tour and showing us this facility.
No, our pleasure. Thanks for coming in here.
Quickly give us a sense of what is the size and scale of this facility. Of course, you know, now you've had to add to this and make a comeback in smartphones, but give us a sense of where we are and when this was set up and what is the size looking like at this point?
So I will start from the beginning.
Okay.
Micromax started manufacturing way before the whole Atmanirbhar Bharat started, which was the Make in India thing, which started in 2014. We started manufacturing 2011-12. That was our first factory in Rudrapur, up in the hills. Then, of course, this factory came up, which is right now we're in Bhiwadi, Rajasthan, and then we have another factory in Telangana, just next to the airport there. So all these factories combined together have capacities of around manufacturing 2 million phones on a monthly basis.
Okay.
This facility where we are right now can produce around 1 million phones on a monthly basis.
Okay.
And
million phones, when you say is it feature phones, smartphones, or the total number combined?
No, that's the total number.
Okay.
And certainly the capacities have been increasing. We have been investing a lot out here. So if you see currently, we announced that we will be investing more than 500 crores in the total setup.
Yes.
And from that pie itself, right now 100 crores already been invested.
All right. We will talk about a lot in terms of the future and the investments that you have proposed or you plan to make. But before I do that, I have to jog back a little. And since you started from the beginning, I'm going to do that as well. Micromax was a brand that had serious momentum. It emerged as a strong player, it emerged as a brand that had strong tailwinds, and it looked like you were heading in the right direction. However, there was a good period of time where the brand was completely wiped out from the smartphone space. While you continue to operate the feature phone space, smartphone was not a market where you could survive. What do you think that did not go right as part of the Micromax smartphone story?
Micromax started on a fantastic note, and we were the guys who were able to not only lead the Indian market, but also, we're expanding internationally very, very well in multiple countries. India, we have been, number one, number two, number one, number for a very, very long time. Only on the smartphone side, all of us know, whatever happened, whatever the invasion happened from the other country, it is not only us, everybody else lost their market share because, you are not able to compete on the pricing structure out there, and whatever you were doing, you were losing money, right? And again, it is, as I said, it's not only Micromax, all of us.
Yeah.
All of us. So, multiple lessons to be learned there, for sure.
Like what?
So, like what in terms, I think this whole Atmanirbhar thing, what is happening right now, if it happened long back, even from the government side of it, because this PLI scheme is a massive, massive push from the government. I must congratulate the government with coming out with something that is so positive and great for the country.
Yeah.
This is something which was missing, and this is something these sort of schemes were there running in the other countries. That is why those countries were able to come and invade out here and grab the maximum market share. But now with this whole PLI scheme, the government has ensured that players like us who got lost in their own country, they can come back and they can fight globally.
Let me then press on this point about not being able to survive competition from Chinese players. Okay, let's just be very candid and open about that. You spoke about an invasion as opposed to the entry of Chinese players in the India market. There's a very different connotation to that. But when you're running a business in a free, global, open market, competition is going to exist. So what is it that brands will have to do to survive that competition?
See, this is a very unique industry, wherein if you see that when I said the invasion about the other markets, so we've been doing great, and we have been, if you see, it's not that we have not seen competition. When we started, players like those days, players like Nokia were having 70% plus market share. We were able to navigate all those multinationals from Europe, from US, from all other countries, and held the top spot.
Okay.
Right? When I said not entry but invasion, for example, these players coming in, their country was having a very different infrastructure in terms of supporting the local players there.
Okay.
Right? So all those people coming in was having a different advantage in terms of the price parity. Right? And why we are able to come up right now, because of the PLI scheme, that price parity is being taken care of. So I think that's a very big push from the government side, and which enables, as I said, players like us who got lost in their own country to come forward and compete with these guys on a global level. You see, you have to have a level playing field. If some other country and the government at their country is giving them incentives, and in our country we are not getting anything, how are you supposed to compete?
For sure. I mean, this has been a top ask for entrepreneurs across the board, not just in manufacturing, that they need a strong government push and support to be able to navigate through global competition. And I understand that, and we've spoken about PLI, so let's address that. Recently, the Union Cabinet has announced a PLI scheme for the IT hardware as well, and I know Micromax had those verticals. Is that something that you will continue focusing on? Are you looking at applying for those schemes as well? Give us a insight on what you're thinking in terms of the other vertical beyond smartphones.
No, so right now, smartphones, certainly we do qualify for the PLI scheme, and we are one of the beneficiaries of the PLI scheme out here. And your second question on the IT side of it, which has just been announced, I think we're still in an evaluation phase for that.
All right.
And
but that's something you're considering
as of now, we are in an evaluation phase.
आप सब लोगों ने देखते ही देखते माइक्रोमैक्स को देश का नंबर 1 और वर्ल्ड का 10 लार्जेस्ट ब्रांड बना दिया। अच्छा, कुछ गलतियां भी हुई हमसे, पर पहली बार कर रहे थे, काम भी कर रहे थे और सीख भी रहे थे। पर फिर एक ऐसा वक्त आया जब चाइनीज मोबाइल वालों ने मुझे मेरे देश में ही पछाड़ दिया।
I want to talk about the comeback and how you announced the comeback. You put out a video which was, it seemed like a sincere, heartfelt message. You seemed authentic. You said everything that you had to. It was well received by a few, but it also garnered a lot of criticism as well. And the criticism essentially came from the fact that how long can Indian brands ride on just the make in India or made in India or this nationalistic feel and appeal? That doesn't take you for a certain amount of time, but to continue that momentum, the product has to do the talking. So your response to the critics?
Very rightly said. End of the day, the product has to do the talking.
Yeah.
Micromax became number 1 because the products were amazing, the products were great, and people gave us that love and support out here in this country. And when we announced our comeback, so in that comeback also, if you see, you have to understand one thing: why are we coming back? So certainly there is it is all about the passion, what we feel about this, but this time it is not only about passion, it is also about a responsibility from our side, that we have to be responsible enough to come up with products and make India Atmanirbhar. And if not us in this industry, you tell me a name, who, right? And if we just keep on sitting on the sideline and say, okay, we don't want to do anything, I really don't think so we will be doing justice to ourselves and to the country.
Right.
So from our side, it's a very, very sincere approach.
Okay.
And we are not telling people that you buy our products just because we are made in India, just because we are Indian. Absolutely not. If you see all our communications now, it's all about product, right? And if you find the product great, if you find the product to be brilliant, then only you buy us. Otherwise, there are other options available, and we openly say that. But if we are able to give you a great product, for example, all our products are safe and secure because we do not use any ROM, custom ROM, which the other players are using. We use a stock Android, absolutely safe and secure.
Okay.
We don't sell you any ads, which the other players are selling you tons and tons of ads, right? And on top of that, if the specs are great, if the manufacturing quality, like you have seen here, because we have one of the best setup of manufacturing of mobile phones in the country, then then why not?
Okay. So let me nudge you a little further and ask you. Chinese players existed back then when you faced severe competition and you had to take a step back and shut shop. And Chinese players continue to exist even now. Data has proved that despite a growing anti-China sentiment, Xiaomi emerged to be the market leader in terms of shipments with 26% market share in 2020. So now, in this Micromax smartphone 2.0 phase, what is your combat strategy?
Our idea is to give a legitimate option to users about something which is originating from their own country, provided the products are great, provided the software experience is brilliant. I really don't think so. If the product is great, the software experience is better than the competition, then what else? Pricing, certainly, we will be pricing it more aggressive. Okay. Because of the support on, from the PLI scheme. Yeah. If anything else is there, you let me know, and certainly we'll try to, cover that gap also.
I think the consumers are going to let you know very soon. Now let's talk about smartphones. The new kid on the block, or the kids made a comeback on the block. So in terms of your marketing strategies, in terms of your financial pool, has smartphone kind of come back on top of the priority list, or is the pie divided equally? What is the boardroom at Micromax looking like at this?
No, so smartphone and feature phone, these two are very different verticals.
Yes.
So feature phone verticals will continue to work like the way it is. It's a separate vertical internally. And smartphone is a new vertical, which used to be the biggest vertical, is again coming back. And in this new avatar, which is in for us, the response has been phenomenal and more than what we expected.
Did it surpass your estimates?
Way more.
What were the numbers? Can you share some numbers with us?
So in terms of numbers, what all I can say is, go on Flipkart and check the ratings of our product. They're way better than the competition. This clearly shows that the products are superior, and the love we are getting is way more than the other brands.
All right. So the optimism is right there, and this time that one missing piece that was missing in the recipe the last time around was competitive pricing. You're saying that the PLI is going to allow you to do that as well. So Rahul, on that note, give us a roadmap of what your targets for 2021 looks like, and also the next 5 years, combining all the schemes, combining your ramped up production, and the fact that you did mention that out of the 500 crore that you had proposed to invest, 100 crores is already done. Where is the next 400 crores going to be invested in? What is the roadmap looking like?
So again, in terms of our investments, right now we are expanding our SMT machines and whole manufacturing lines. All the money is right now going there. And going forward also, we will be expanding all our facilities. As I said, we already have 3 factories. And not only on mobile phones, we do have other verticals as well where we are, expanding.
You're watching Newsmakers on CNBC TV18, and we are in conversation with Rahul Sharma, co-founder of homegrown tech brand Micromax, the brand that recently made a comeback in the smartphone space in India. In the Micromax, the previous version of it, you also had a premium segment with you, and the aspiration was to enter and compete with the premium phone market. Is that an aspiration that you have once again, or have you been more clear in terms of your strategy of looking at good competitive budget smartphones, or premium is somewhere a part of the blueprint?
No, so this time it is reverse.
Achha.
This time we do not want to get into the entry-level smartphones.
Okay.
We will only make performance-oriented products.
Okay.
Only if you are able to get an optimum performance in whatever price band it is, only then we will offer those products. Otherwise, we won't get into that segment.
Okay.
So you can expect only performance-oriented product from us.
What does that mean? So no premium phones?
No. So when I say performance-oriented, means in every category we will have performance-oriented products. So we will get into all the premium segments or mid-high, all those segments. But we will not get into the entry level, that 1 GB sort of a thing. We will not get into that.
So that's
because
something that you're not going to do.
We will only provide great experience and great performance.
Okay. So at this point, who would you say is your top competitor in the smartphone space?
We have just started, so everybody out there.
You are looking over your shoulder to see who you have to match up with or who you have to compete with. So any one player or two players that you've identified?
I think too early for us to say.
Too early for
us
Okay. So talk to me then about your other verticals. We've been talking about phones, we've been talking about feature phones, but the other verticals, what's the aspiration on that front in terms of the IT hardware space? Of course, you said that PLI is something that you will consider, but at the moment, what is the goals that you've set for yourself for the other verticals?
We have spoken about the mobile phones, but the other verticals, for example, smart TVs, we have been doing fantastically well in terms of the manufacturing out there. We've been talking about the air conditioning, the manufacturer with IoT, smart air conditioners. We are one of the very few companies who have a complete manufacturing setup for that, which probably most of the people don't know. But all these things, complete manufacturing. For example, we have heat exchangers
so
and all.
Not just assembly, but
we completely manufacture. That's what I'm saying. All heat exchangers and everything.
Okay.
So all these verticals, and in all these verticals, again, the imports were very, very high, and we were the first ones to get into these, the manufacturing of this. So far, so good. And the idea is again to provide people with a legitimate option in these segments.
Okay, so the aspiration is clearly to lead these verticals and eventually go global, but a business needs funding and it needs backing. So what is the funding plan right there? Are you looking to raise funds from domestic or international investors as well, or what is the strategy on that front?
As of now, the company is good with their internal accruals.
Okay.
But as and when time, we require something to be raised, I think we will come out with that. But as of now, we will be funding with internal accruals.
All right. Rahul, now before I wrap up, I'm sure there are many entrepreneurs out there who are looking to break through this market, and much like you, they're also fighting competition from domestic players, from global players. So if I were to ask you to sum up some of the top learnings that you've had for someone who saw it all, lost it all, and is now on his way to get it back again, what would your learnings be and what would you tell them?
The only thing what I will say is just follow your passion and follow your heart, and if you think that you can do something and contribute to the society and you're capable of doing that, then never give up. Never give up. So we are, as I said, we are coming back not only for the passion but also the responsibility, because I should be able to look back myself in a mirror after 5 years that I had the opportunity and I have done something like that. It should not be like after 5 years I said, yeah, there was an opportunity, but I never did anything. Yeah.
Before I let you go, anything else that you would like to tell us in terms of what Micromax would look like, or what you want consumers to think of when they think of Micromax?
So if you're looking for something which is safe and secure, performance-oriented, then you choose Micromax, and I think that's the thing what we are taking in front of the people. So we are looking for all the love. And when we are finding it is more than what we ever thought. So thank you everyone for showing so much of love for Micromax, and we assure you that we won't let you down.
All right. We have you on record saying that. Thank you so much for sharing those details, and of course inviting us at your facility and giving us a glimpse of what happens behind the scenes. Thanks
Thank you
a
so
lot.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.